Good night. Sorry, that was just to annoy everyone who set their video to record this. In the news this week, at Sandhurst, traditionalists complain that the army is going too far to accommodate gays in the military. At the weightlifting championships in Bucharest, there are suspicions that cleaning staff have been a little overzealous with the floor wax. And news gets out that Michael Douglas and Catherine Zeta-Jones are on honeymoon in Los Angeles. On Ian Hislop's team is a Liberal Democrat MP who 3 years ago broke his back in 12 places, as well as his ribs, sternum and jaw. That's the last time he pinches Anne Widdecombe's bottom. Lembit Opik. And with Paul Merton tonight is a GMTV presenter who has interviewed Gore Vidal and Norman Mailer and indeed managed to extract some highly controversial and hard-hitting recipes from them. Lorraine Kelly. So, being slaves to convention, we open with round one. Ian and Lembit, your battleground.
British flag.
Helicopters.
Yes.
Yeah. People running onto the beach.
Yep. Oh, and that's the nuclear deterrent.
That's going to be the Euro Army, I guess, which we're discussing putting together. Not an army, sorry, a rapid reaction force.
Right.
Thatcher doesn't like it. She thinks we're selling out to our European colleagues. The government thinks it's a good idea, and the Liberal Democrats, as ever, think it's great.
But you know the Lib Dems are actually benefiting from Haig's hysteria about his Europhobia. You know, they've actually managed to get an extra MEP this week.
Oh, yes.
Right.
That's right.
Are you aware of him?
Yes.
Right. How aware
He's
are you?
called something like Bill Newton Dunn, and he defected. MEP from the Conservatives defected to our party. I'm sure he's a
That shows how desperate things are in the Tory party, isn't it? You defect to the Lib Dems.
That's not very nice. Only because we rejected your application.
Yes, so very good. That is the controversial formation of the European Army, which the Prime Minister has promised will only be deployed in areas of the world where democracy is under threat. So first stop, Florida. Paul and Lorraine.
Oh, it's Catherine Zeta-Jones.
She can't believe her luck.
She can't.
No.
And there's Michael with the baby.
Michael Douglas, yeah.
Oh, there's Kirk.
There's Kirk, yes.
Oh, bless him.
Lovely.
She's 100. That's all the people that are local.
Yeah.
Village, isn't it?
Yeah.
Celebrating.
Just outside Swansea.
Wedding.
Mumbles.
Mumbles.
Mumbles, yes, that's where she's from.
I was born there.
Were you?
Yeah.
So you're Welsh?
Technically. But I'm not wearing half of a gorilla suit, which is...
Do you know what her grandma said on the way in?
Yes, lovely.
Photographers.
That was terrible.
I didn't say she was from Wales, she was from Pakistan, in fact.
No, she said we're on our way to the wedding. It's rather nice thing to say to photographers when it's quite clear that she's on the way to the wedding.
But what I thought was really odd was because it was built up by one of these glossy magazines, you're not allowed to bring your cameras in. So how do you tell, you know, do you frisk Sir Anthony Hopkins and say, give me your Instamatic? I mean, what are you going to do? It'd be really embarrassing.
Is that a telephoto lens or are you just pleased to see me?
Exactly.
The photos haven't appeared yet, have they? Is that next week?
No, well, there'll be some of them now. And he's airbrushed to within an inch of his life. I mean, he's really, you know, been sorted and fixed and...
A lot of blusher going on up here as well.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's sad when your dad looks better, isn't it? Wouldn't you like to meet Spartacus at a wedding? That'd be...
And
Somebody's... no, I'm just trying to think of a joke. I don't think I'll get to it in a minute. There's sort of priest saying, there's the groom's father here, and he's sort of, I'm the groom's father. And somebody said, no, I'm the groom's father. I was trying to get to, because in Spartacus, no, I'm Spartacus.
Exactly.
Wake up, please. I'll say it again in a minute.
Lorraine has sold photographs too, OK and Hello, haven't you?
I've not to Hello. My wedding was not in. It was in Hello, but I never get any money for it. Me and my dad were going into where we were getting married, and everybody.
You were getting married to your dad? He's a nice bloke. You've known him for years.
Well, it was really odd.
You don't even have to change your name, do you?
So, what was his wedding present to her, Michael?
I don't know. Oh, I do. It was a yacht. It was a yacht called something weird.
Zita Bonita.
Zita Bonita.
And was she taking something else from Michael as well?
Is she going to be called Catherine Zeta Douglas rather than
believe so.
Catherine Zeta Jones?
Well, she's taking the name Douglas, so unless she's
Right.
calling herself Douglas Zeta Jones.
That was it.
If she has a boy, she can always call him Douglas Zeta Douglas, which would be very fun.
But she's got a wee boy, and all the guests had to give money to the Little Boys Foundation, didn't they? Which I think would be really odd, because you know how they're really weird in Hollywood.
So the little boy's wearing makeup as well.
Probably no. But he's got lots of money.
This is the wedding of Catherine Zeta-Jones and Michael Douglas. According to The Guardian, only the congenitally churlish would wish anything but good cheer to the happy couple. Always nice to get a mention. The key events of the day were reflected in the headlines of Sun journalist Victoria Newton's report: tulips, radiant, glamorous and beavering. Ian and Lembit, just for a change.
Well, it's the Gore and Bush show, the continuing saga of who's going to be the next president of the United States of America. What worries me most is if George Bush wins, he said that he's only been out of the United States twice, and one of those was Disneyland. And he presented his passport at the Magic Kingdom. You know. Have a good ride, President Bush. You know. Oh, you speak English? You know?
Latest allegation of corruption over there in the States.
Well, it's all about chads, isn't it? Which is the mark that those punching machines makes. And the argument at the moment is over dimple chads. If there's a good, honest American hole in it, it's a Republican vote. Yeah. Whereas if there's a dimple, it's a sort of liberally Democrat.
Yes. What's the other word for dimple chads?
A pregnant chad.
A pregnant chad, but they're not
Pregnant
allowed
chad.
to use that on network television in America, apparently.
You can't say pregnant?
No, they're going to be a bit squeamish about the word pregnant.
But they advertise piles cream and everything like that.
It is a different affliction, though.
No. Believe you me, the two go together.
I'll take your word for it. We can have a look at... here we are.
It's a sitcom in that. At Home with the Chads. You've got the hanging chad, he's like the public hangman. You've got the swinging chad, who's the groovy teenager. The tri-chad, he's in a Chinese gang, and the pregnant one's obviously the one who's, is pregnant. I've got it now, actually. It's the chads are coming.
Yes. Can't wait to see it. The actual allegation...
You'll probably be in it.
Probably won't, I'll just be the neighbour next door. Swallowing chads is what I was referring to. That's what the corruption is. That there's been suggestions that certain vote counters are swallowing bits of paper.
Monica chads.
In the States, the election has become a so-called water cooler debate, meaning that Americans gather around the water cooler at work and discuss whether it would make a better president than Bush or the other. And lastly, Paul and Lorraine.
Oh, Chris Tarrant.
Yes, so this will be the Who Wants to... That's what she won,
there
Who
she
Wants to Be a
is.
Millionaire. She won her. A bit of a fuss, wasn't there, over 1 foot in the grave, it being the last one, and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire finding her first millionaire.
Yeah, that was Judith Keppel,
It was Judith
relative
Keppel.
of Camilla.
She has some strange connections with the show, though, doesn't she, this woman?
Well, with ITV she does, yes.
Yes.
Yes, the friend that she phoned up for one of the questions turned out to be Deputy Controller of the Arts and Features Department of LWT. Not that there's anything wrong in that, we should point out.
It's no good the two of you trying to work up a BBC conspiracy here. Just because you were both in the show that got slaughtered.
No. I mean, One Foot in the Grave didn't get slaughtered. I think One Foot in the Grave is a fantastic show, I have to say.
I watched One Foot in the Grave, as I assume everybody else did.
I'm afraid I didn't, actually, no.
Did you watch your documentary before it, though?
No, I was working then, but...
Sorry, did you say the word documentary?
Yeah.
Clip show with a man wandering about, I think.
And the ITV response, David Litterman, the programme director, said it's disgraceful, the BBC's response. It's sad that the BBC is conducting itself in this way. It's childish. To which we can only say...
What is the theory about... Because it was a very unlikely winner for an ITV quiz show. Rather agreeable woman who lives in Fulham.
Well,
As opposed to which winners?
Well, the ones who live in less agreeable houses in Fulham, I suppose.
What are you rabbiting on about? You silly Welsh man. What is he on about?
Although, do you know how well she actually knows Camilla?
She's met her once.
Yeah, long time ago.
Exactly, so you're not exactly a member of the aristocracy.
Her grandfather was the Earl of Albemarle, wasn't he? Yeah, he was, obviously, but she was.
Yeah,
So
we could all
she
say
is.
that.
Yes, but,
My granddad was the Earl of Albemarle.
yes, we can say it. It's not true in your case, though.
I would have thought he was King Kong, wasn't he?
Chris Tarrant insisted that despite Judith being related to Camilla Parker Bowles, she was not already wealthy, saying at one point before the show she was thinking of moving to France because she couldn't afford to live in London. The very definition of poverty. So at the end of that round, neither side has been able to forge a lead, both having an entirely genuine 4 points each. And so to the world of tabloid newspapers, wherein lies, basically. Ian and Lembit, your shock horror is a mere drop in the ocean.
this will be the Mir space station, the Russian space station, which has been threatening to fall out of the sky now for a few years, and apparently is going to hit the Pacific.
Yes, it is. The Russian Space Agency are dropping it into... Do you know how large the drop zone is that they've got to manage to fit it into?
That's about right, yes.
It's 6,000 miles by 125 miles, and the size of Mir is about 30 metres by 33 metres, so it's roughly the equivalent of managing to park a car in France. And what else might crash to Earth?
Ah, asteroids. Asteroids.
Your favourite subject.
People laughed whenever I started campaigning on the threat of global impact by asteroids 18 months ago. And...
Not laughing now.
Well, you are laughing, but...
Right, and
they're
what's
coming
the
down.
threat coming from at the moment?
Well, there's a number of objects. I can make a few numbers up and you can't prove otherwise. 1998A. Another one thinking of coming in, I think, in 2030.
What's the number of that one?
F342 Sierra. So you may have the NASA designation, which is different.
Right.
Should we be genuinely worried?
You should be very worried. You're actually 750 times more likely to die in an asteroid impact than to win the National Lottery this weekend. So maybe, just maybe. I see that laughing. Well, you are laughing now.
No,
How do I
that's
make
just
you
fear.
believe? How do I make you understand this?
Yeah.
No, that's a light. But And, of course, if it does hit, then the evolution will be thrown right back and we'll all end up looking like Paul.
Are you a keen astronomer?
No, not really.
Oddly enough, I was talking to Lorraine.
Oh, so you didn't use anyone's name there. Could have, that person over there started asking. It's a funny place to sit. When this programme goes out, will you sit behind the television set?
So, are you a keen astronomer, Lorraine?
Yes, I am. Well, I used to be. I used to be when I was really little.
Oh, right.
And my dad bought me a telescope when I was 5, and I think it's fascinating. And I am really scared now.
Good.
No, but is that not what happened to the dinosaurs? That's how they got
Yes.
obliterated?
Yes.
It was a...
Most of them. Yeah.
So the Liberal Democrats could make a difference.
We could. Thank you. Yeah.
The Sun revealed this week that NASA has been investigating the problem of couples having sex in zero gravity. NASA technician Harry Stein said sex is made easier when a third person assists by holding one of the others in place. Well, we've all tried that line. Paul and Lorraine, your royal revolver. Queen shows killer instinct.
Oh, she strangled a pheasant that was on its way out. And she, did it in with an expert flick of the wrist, apparently, which was a bit scary.
Scragging.
Is that what they call it?
Yes.
Scragging? I thought it was horrible, but then I suppose if it was half dead...
It was an act of mercy.
Yeah, I guess if it was...
Well, it would have been an act of mercy not to shoot it
It
in the
would have
first
been
place, mate.
probably better. That's very true. Very true.
Bang! Oh, act of mercy.
Horrible.
Do you want to have a look at her strangling the pheasant?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, let's
No.
have a look.
No. You can't really see. That could be anything, really. Let me look. Oh, yeah.
I think it is the Queen. Lembit, what is the Lib Dem approach towards scragging a bird? Is that, would you allow that, or...?
I think scragging probably, if it's a mercy killing, it's all right. But, I
What
suppose-
about shoving an electrode up its bum like you do in a factory farm for the chicken we all eat?
Only if it was a very low voltage.
Oh, right.
Have you ever interviewed a royal?
Yes. But you don't really get very far because you're
Unless
told...
you shove something electric up your butt.
Hey, that's what
Then they start talking.
They start talking, yes, they do.
Which one?
Princess Anne, Prince Edward,
How was Prince Edward? Tosspot?
Oh, he'll never come on your show again.
Well, that's hardly a threat, is it?
Thank God. This is Her Majesty the Queen scragging a pheasant as a subtle rebuke to her critics. The Queen attended church the next day wearing a hat covered with what appeared to be pheasant feathers, although when it twitched during the service, she whipped it off and dashed against the font.
Is it the same as swan upping?
What, scragging?
No, but sticking the thing up the chicken in the factory.
The same as swan upping?
Yeah.
No.
Is it not?
Swan upping's nice. That's
Is
when you take the little swans out and check them and make sure they're all right and then put them back.
Oh, right, is it?
Yeah. So there's a pub near me called the Swan Uppers.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's good.
That's what they told you, was it, Lorraine?
Which, court action means that at the end of this royal game, neither side seems prepared to stick its neck out, both clinging to 6. And so to the game we play weekly in almost every sense, a one-out round, just one per team this week. Paul and Lorraine, your Uber babes. Cherie Blair, Margaret Thatcher, Lorraine Kelly, and Tinky Winky.
Is that Mrs. Thatcher in a new role as stand-up comic? Here's one, don't the top, don't here's one, here we go, here we go. This man walks into a pub, all right, shut up, shut up.
Tinky Winky's a boy and he's got a handbag.
Yeah.
And when Tinky Winky was in America, didn't the Americans say that was outrageous that he had a handbag because that would be terrible?
Yes.
Don't know why.
Well,
but
I think it was suggested there might be a gay
yeah, that's right.
thing,
How
and
sick.
it was actually a magic bag.
That's what people thought Margaret Thatcher was for about 10 years, didn't they?
Maybe it's to
Magic bag.
magic bag.
Is Mike on? Sit on.
I think it's to do with handbags.
Ah.
I think the odd one out is Tinky Winky.
Why?
Because Tinky Winky never gave his handbag away, he still got his handbag. And I gave my handbag away, and Cherie Blair did and Mrs Thatcher did, to breast cancer charity. And it was sold on the internet, so it's handbags.
It is, it's
a
the right
handbag.
answer.
Yeah.
Very
Oh,
good.
well done.
Yes, we can have a look at the 3 bags.
Looking at the bags.
Well, Margaret Thatcher's, which one is hers, I wonder? Oh, that's the one on the left, got to be, isn't it?
I would think she's the zebra skin.
It's lizard skin, actually. Lizard is, of course, a cold-blooded reptile. Do you know who that was bought by, Mrs Thatcher's?
Elton John.
Oh, it might have... Was it?
No, it was a Scottish investment banker.
Oh, well.
Rhyming slang, obviously.
pretty much so.
Who paid £100,000. He said she never had the level of credit she deserved.
Well, she should have changed to another credit card. Should have changed to another credit card. Which one of those is yours?
Mine is the silly one in the middle with the little heart on it.
That is quite silly, actually.
Yeah.
It's very silly.
Look at that. Who'd have a handbag made of stuff like that?
You have something else in common, of course, with Tinky Winky, which we just stumbled upon. The gay icon thing.
Me and Tinky Winky.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, kind of. I was on the front of Boys, you know, the gay magazine. Yeah. You said that too quickly.
Don't you have homosexuals in Wales?
I think you're confusing me with a Welsh person.
But you said you were born in Wales.
I was, yeah.
Then you're Welsh.
There are other defining characteristics of nationality.
What, apart from the country that you're born in?
Your parents' nationality is one, on the whole. The other is where you live.
That doesn't affect your nationality. If you're born in Wales, you're Welsh.
No, it isn't true, actually.
Right, I'm going to be Swedish.
Were you born in Sweden?
No, but my furniture was made there.
But you don't share any genetic material with the wood. Oh, no, you do.
GMTV presenter Lorraine Kelly recently claimed I have a built-in bullshit meter inside me. And may I say, I never miss your programme.
Thank you.
Ian and Lembit, your genuine antiques are Neil Kinnock, Roy Jenkins, John Prescott, and Epimenides.
This has got to be some sort of political system question. Was Epimenides the first man to think PR was a good idea?
Proportional representation, yes, actually. Yeah, he's in the Lords now, actually.
Is Neil Kinnock throwing darts and he's hit John Prescott in the eye and Roy Jenkins can't believe it? And the other goes to sleep because he's not Welsh.
It does involve sleep, the answer.
Oh,
They all
yes, because
sleep.
famously Roy Jenkins and Neil Kinnock and John Prescott, and so...
Oh,
They all...
Yeah, that was right.
did he fall asleep giving a speech and they all fell asleep listening to a speech?
Yes, I'll give you 1 point for that. The answer is that they've all fallen asleep during party conference speeches, with the exception of Epimenides, a Greek poet who once fell asleep in a cave and didn't wake for 57 years. So Roy Jenkins, during your leader's speech, in fact, this year's Lib Dem conference. The speech was on schools, pensions, health, tax and the euro, so I suppose it's... and Kinnock in a crisis debate on nuclear weapons in 1987.
He's looking for the on switch in his head, isn't he?
That's a terrible way to speak of a fellow countryman.
And what's Glynis up to at the moment?
Well, she's seen someone on the quiet. You're looking at me as if it's true.
No, she's writing a Labour anthem at the minute. Labour's Listening, it's called.
Is it?
Yeah.
What's the tune?
Well, it's one that she's composed. Do you want me to sing it for you?
Yeah, go on then.
No, I
2,
can't.
3, 4.
Sorry, we couldn't.
Labour's listening.
Labour's listening.
Everyone's telling them to get stuffed.
We've been in power 4 years, but we've still got ears because we're listening.
When politicians fall asleep for a few minutes during the day, it's known in the House as power napping, although when Liberal Democrats do it, it's known as never going to be in power napping. And so to the rampant hysteria of our final missing words round, a tantalising display of half-exposed headlines, including some, many or more from this week's guest publication, the utterly remarkable Crochet World. So, get to it with what held hostage as lobster war turns nasty?
Shrimp.
Crayfish.
Cray
No.
twins fish.
No, tortoises is the answer.
Ah.
Yes. Next, the world's finest what?
Crochet shawl. Crochet matinee jacket.
It is from Crochet World.
Oh, it's the world's finest wool.
Double hook.
Something that you make, in fact.
Jumper.
Doily thing.
Damask.
Very good.
Doily.
Doily is the right
Doily.
answer. Next, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, what?
Crochet.
Mrs. Thatcher is go.
If I'll give you a clue,
Okay.
it's from Lorraine's column in The Sun.
Oh, you don't think she writes that, do you?
Right, so she doesn't read it, that's all.
Me, thank you.
Prove it, now.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yes.
There you go.
Are you sure?
Yes. Absolutely certain.
And I've
And
forgotten, that's ridiculous.
involves a former leader of yours.
Paddy
Oh,
Ashdown.
I know what it was. It was Pat. That exactly, because you know how he really did it really quickly.
9.6 seconds.
9.5
Exactly.
seconds.
Yes.
It's all over.
Lift off.
That's
That's
it.
it.
9.5
It's
seconds, all over.
Fancy doing it in 9 seconds. How could you possibly do it in 9 seconds?
You're just jealous.
Lembit.
No, but how
I don't know where he gets his stamina from, do you?
could you?
I don't know Paddy that well, but I will ask him.
Be careful, if you can do it in 9.5 seconds, you might think you're shaking his hand, but before you know it,
And lastly, you're what, says the BBC?
cheats.
Oh, I know, you're a nutter. Some member of the public wrote into the BBC asking
Oh, yes.
asking for the head of BBC One's autograph, and he got back his note with a post-it note on it saying, "Nutter, fob him off,
No autograph.
no autograph."
Yes, is the right answer. Which accidental anarchy brings us crashing to the end of this pile-up and ensures that this week's write-offs are Paul and Lorraine with 10, and this week's premiums are Ian and Lembit with 12. So the chance to put on your glad rags and meet the Queen to our winners, the chance to put on a pheasant costume and meet the Queen to our losers. Although someone seems to have started already. But before they literally disappear, there's the imperceptible appeal of our caption competition.
Come on, Sharks, if you think you're hard enough, campaign backfires.
Thank you. And I leave you with news that in Florida, Al Gore starts to suspect that support is dwindling for any further recounts. There's a surprise victory in the mayoral election in San Diego. And the British synchronised swimming team regrets using the same pool as Paddy Ashdown.
He must have had 18 seconds to spare.
Good night.
More BBC Two comedy just a few seconds away. A goodness gracious me classic coming right up.